Hi guys, Michelle Ochoa here with Divinely Genuine. Welcome to the daily horoscope where I'm going to go over some of the astrology and my take on it and pull some tarot cards and some spiritual flow. So today in Texas, the governor, Greg Abbott, yesterday, said that he's doing a mask-free mandate. So that's exciting. I'm really grateful to hear that. You know, I think about our kids wearing them, and it's just a insane to me seed that was planted of fear. You know, and if it starts as like our freedom being taken away that easy, you know, where we have to wear a mask and we don't even get a choice. I'm all about like being safe and all of this, you know, and whatever. I personally, it's all about your belief system, right? But the choice, if you're wearing a mask, why should I wear it, you know? And most definitely, I don't feel the children should be wearing them, you know? They, the oxygen is what like keeps us healthy with our breath and our blood and our brain and our heart and all those things. Speaking of which, I gotta breathe more. I am a part of High Vibe TV's school, and it's so cool because you get astrology, you get shadow work, you get a chakra chants and all kind of stuff. And I really love Dylan, the Spirit Advisor's chakra tuning system. I want to make that more a part of my like daily thing. He does the like vowel chants, I believe, and it just like resonates best with my body. So that's cool. You get so much, and I think it's really important right now to align with the relationships, you know, via online or whatever. We are in the age of Aquarius, so it's approaching it. 2023 is where it really will hit, but a lot of these like groups we're a part of are online. You know, a lot of our connections are online. Let's connect. So as far as the astrology for today, Wednesday the 3rd, let's see what we got. And I do apologize. I've, you know, took some time off to do some like spiritual searching and to get away from, you know, a lot that was pulling me off. So I do refer to notes. I just like write them down and then I like to flow with it. And, you know, I'm not much of a planner, even for a Virgo. But it's all good. Like, it's whatever works best for each of us, I think. So we do have the Sun in Pisces, which is our spiritual energy, our spiritual energy. It's also letting go and subconscious patterns. It has to do with energy and music. Pisces is, in tarot, it's the Hanged Man, where you're just surrendered, or the Queen of Cups, where it's very intuitive, you know. And so we have the Sun there, which is our heart space. So Sun, Trine, Moon in Scorpio. So that's really beautiful because the Moon in Scorpio is our emotional, the Moon's the emotions, the goddess energy, right? The waters of our body. And she is in the sign of Scorpio, which is the depth of our consciousness, like as far down as we go. And so it's the intensity and intuition as well. All, you know, these water signs are where a lot of the intuition comes, because it's the emotional, it's hard sometimes to put it in words. It's the emotional feelings that come through, that where we're like, oh, I feel that, you know, and we just kind of know. So fixed water is Scorpio, and Scorpio, it goes down to the depths of our consciousness. It's where we understand intimacy. Okay, so intimacy is huge right now, and it, you know, it's not in the way that you may think. It's not in the traditional way, you know. I thought I'd keep my little yoga pants on. They're so soft. I'm so blessed to know a fashion designer who, gosh, he like created his, at 18 years old, he knew that he wanted to be a fashion designer. I'm like, damn, so cool. And he was able to achieve it. Anyway, he gave me these and I'm like, ooh, they feel so good, like the material. But also celebrating Governor Greg Abbott for being someone who, you know, says, listen, this is enough. The businesses are suffering. People are suffering. Like, if you want to wear the mask, wear it. But it's not going to be a, we will take your rights away and you have to. You know, like, we're supposed to be in the land of the free, right? So this moon trining the sun, moon in Scorpio trining the sun in Pisces, is very much about our hearts being in our spiritual space and our emotions really wanting to uncover the intimacy that we crave. And the occult knowledge is also found in Scorpio because it's the things that have been hidden from us. So I believe it very much has to do with like our inner space as well. And this is where we're living in times where we can learn to connect to our own heart and find really great depth of love and intimacy in that space. And it's amazing what you'll find there. And we're able to connect with these twin-like energies. We are in the nodes of Gemini where it's these sacred unions and it's beautiful. But you know how they say what you're searching for, or like it's all within you or whatever, like you have everything you need. And so it's interesting because everything's a reflection, you know, like the moon reflecting the water. So, you know, we know that the twin energy, the sacred unions, bring you to like a self-love, you know. And then you get this phenomenal like mate, I guess, you know, partner in life, that where you don't have to be together, you can literally experience each other and exchange things by sinking into our heart. The sun represents the heart. The sun in Pisces represents that spiritual side of us. So though it sounds, you know, it sounds so out there or whatever, like this is stuff that we're awakening to. This is stuff that has, you know, things like giving our freedom away to another person in authority, like a governor or president or whomever it is, someone outside of ourselves. Even a book, like a religious book, or anything outside of ourselves. You know, a relationship. You know, do you like lose yourself in a relationship? And that's the thing with the Scorpio energy too. These unions and these like reconnecting to your heart and your own space, it has such an intensity and an intimacy that it becomes very like addicting almost. But we have to pull ourselves out of that space and, you know, be able to also balance the practical world, or, you know, but definitely taking the time to go within. So anyway, so sun trine the moon, that aspect itself is just an easy flow. It's like the universe saying, okay, like to me, with trines and with squares, right, or sextiles and oppositions. So you've got the easier aspects and then the harder aspects, right? And so if we start to, like I'm learning to do, plan our lives and flow with the astrology, the universe is saying with trines, like, okay, this is where it will be easy if you want to tap into this. This is where I'm supporting you, in my opinion. So our spiritual, the thing that lights us up spiritually, or tuning into that Pisces energy of the dream world, of music, of energy, and the deeper meaning to things, Scorpio, occult knowledge, intimacy, I mean, like, imagine a world without intimacy. Like, it would just be so, like, yo, what's the point? So, Scorpios, there is pain there and rebirth as well, you know. But with the moon passing through Scorpio, it's really where we can tune into the magic of the world and understand now more than, like, um, you know, the past. You know, like, it's like depends on, you know, like the past way of going about things where it's very, you know, our society's been very like Martian, like go go go, do you bet, you know, like and it is important to take action, but we're learning to also slow down and receive it, slow down and pay attention to the energy. If you know, more like quality versus quantity. You know, you can send your resume or your business plan or whatever it is to 100 people, and if it's just something you tossed up and, you know, like created very quickly and didn't put a lot of heart into it, or creative energy, um, it doesn't matter how many people get it, right? If it doesn't actually connect to them, you know? And so, or if you're not filling it out, like, is this my truth? Like, should I send it here? And that's the thing I'm learning too. Once our heart center is open, we can then kind of navigate life from that, whether we have the courage to or not. So I would say today is very much a spiritual, we have an easy go, like a green light with our spiritual heart and soul expression of the emotional intimacy and depths that we crave. A good day to utilize some of the magic. And when I say magic, it's learning like these older things that have been like suppressed or taken away, you know, like utilizing mantras, knowing that if you start your day with coffee and just going, you're more likely to stay in that stressful state, which then the body, mind, and soul, right? The three, the Trinity. It's very like, as I'm learning as well, it's very much a connected source where we can, you know, you'll feel those tingles in your body when something is on point or where it's part of your truth. You'll feel your heart center light up if it's part of your truth, and of course it has a lot to do with presence as well. So instead of like going about things the older way of just rushing into it with coffee and your flyer and your this and your that, it's more like starting the day in a sacred way. These two signs, Pisces and Scorpio, are very much where we find the spiritual things in life, and are sacred, both of them. Scorpio is, so when I say magic, it's like energy, right? So, burning your sage to clear, burning your herbs or your scents, putting on essential oils, like all of this matters in the way that it is all energy, you know? And so when you start the day with like doing stretches or a prayer or just a more calmer start, and with maybe a plan in your mind of what you'd like to accomplish and staying in tune, right? And then I was going to say adhering, but seeing to like the astrology, right? Because we can do things all day. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Hello. Hey, can I call you right back? I'm doing a video. I'll call you right back. All right, bye. So, that's part of presence too. I hope y'all don't think it was rude. Like, I could have ignored it, and I almost did, but then it's like, well, when we're being present, we never know what will flow into our reality that we need to pay attention to. And we can't get distracted by everything, so we do need to discern. But when you're rushing and rushing, right? That's really where we'll miss, when we fly out the door with our lunch and our coffee and our plan, and we haven't taken a moment to really sink into the heart space, tune into the body, check in with our guides. And if you haven't ever called onto your angels or guides, I would do that. The third eye is real. You can connect to that. Now, the astrology is a good map for, okay, this is my plan for today. This is what I know is I'm part of my spiritual calling, because we are in a very destined karmic time, right? World-changing time. And plus we're understanding life, and this is part of Scorpio and magic of what's been hidden. We're understanding life in new ways. So it's, oh, I wasn't meant to just go to this school and do this and do that and marry this person at this age and maybe you were. And then astrology is looking at, oh, okay, so I see in a natal chart reading, this is my soul print. And then I also see with a current transits reading, okay, or this daily horoscope, right? This is what's going on right now. This is what the universe is asking for myself. And so a daily horoscope for the collective, which is what I'm doing here, is for everybody this is a general worldly type thing of what the universe is saying. But then when we look at it as part of our morning routine of okay, Sun trine moon for Libra ascendants, right, would be the Sun in Pisces is the 6th house. It's our everyday, and it depends on the degree. It's our everyday task and what we're giving to the world. So then you want to look at that, and then the moon, right? The moon being in Scorpio is going to be our 2nd house of valuing ourselves and self-worth. And so learning astrology, right, is one thing, and then learning to go with it and flow with it in a universal way is part of the magic that really helps us to align into our natural order, our natural flow, right? So that Sun trine moon is very beautiful. We also have the moon because our basically on a more gentle, easy to understand level, it's our soul and our emotions intuitively are in a beautiful alignment and balance to understand the deeper yearnings of our emotions and the spiritual expression of our soul. We have the moon trining Neptune, which is the emotions and the dream world, okay? So it's very romantic type energy, and Neptune's in Pisces as well, so that's why, there's also a trine there. Moon trine Neptune is very dreamy. I think it's a beautiful day to utilize that to tap into that dreamy, soft, romantic vibe. You may spend a little time with music, spend a little time with art or poetry, and really allow those emotions to come out. I learned from being around Wake Tribe that emotions are energy in motion. So being able to transmute them into something creative, I've also learned from the wonderful Leo King, putting that creative energy and those emotions into your music, he does spiritual dance music, or putting it into art or whatever it is, right? And even this video is being creative and talking and sharing, because it is a time of sharing awareness. So that's very beautiful. I love the Pisces and Scorpio stuff, it's the deeper stuff. We have Neptune sextiling Pluto today, which is another positive flow of energy where the universe is saying it's going to be, here's this gift that it's easy to let's see, so Neptune is in Pisces, the spiritual house. Pluto is the transforming of dark energy into gold, or uncovering the shadows, and letting them fall away and finding that gold. And so Pluto right now is still in Capricorn. So Capricorn is representing the structures in our life and what we're building. And so what are we building for this spiritual time in our lives? And there's a positive aspect to that. So even if it's like you've never written a poem, and you took a moment of your day and not getting into that rushing, but sinking into your soul of like, no, this is what I feel is a part of my path, or doing some art or whatever it is. And I'm wanting to build, for my spiritual light work, I'm wanting to build the ability to create from my heart, and to show others that we can do that. And so, if you want to have like an art business, or if you've thought about having a tarot deck, so you start it, a lot of us will just think of it, but start it. And so Neptune is like the dreamy side of us, and sextiling Pluto is just a positive flow of let's turn those dreams with Pluto and Capricorn into reality. Let's form those into reality. Because the subconscious mind, when we hold all that, which is Neptune as well, and we just keep it in the dream world, we don't have to do that. We can bring it into. And this is also being able to, the opposite way, right? So being able to look into the third eye, look into the, try to remember the dreams and the writing on the wall that you see, and writing it down, the dreams we experience, and maybe that becomes a part of your expression. And if you start writing them down now, within a year, you have like something that you could publish as a book or share with someone, So that's a beautiful positive. We have another aspect for romance today, or the romantic, softer energy, is Moon Trine Venus. So Venus is our relationships, and it's also our ability. It's also our money and comfortability, so she's in Pisces right now, which is her exalted point. And I believe it was what's his name, the peace dealer, that reminded me of that she's exalted at in Pisces. Not practicing for a couple of years, I'm like, but so Venus being in Pisces, this is very much connecting to, one, what makes us feel spiritually comfortable, and what in that energy of Pisces are we wanting to connect to. Like if you've wanted to play music, then just do it. If you've wanted to do art, then just do it, right? And especially on a day like today, the emotional body of that Scorpio moon energy and Venus is supporting that, and try not to do it in a pressured way. Just get into your heart and do it. Again, connecting to these sacred unions and putting more emotion there to those relationships, because this is something that is so precious, we don't want to lose. And just like anything, if you don't use it, you may lose it, right? And so that's really beautiful, connecting to the like-minded energy emotionally, and the relationships that are a part of what feels emotionally in tune, I think would be this moon trine Venus, and always being open to new connections, right? And but Venus is very aesthetic and likes comfort, and the moon as well, like food and like the fill of these pants. I have a lot of Venus energy and a lot of the emotional moon energy. And I was looking at my progress chart, and my moon is in Cancer right now, and I have a lot of 12th house stuff. I'm like, oh, no wonder. Because I've just been really like just being more, softer and filling into the body. And as we uncover in this ascension process, this Pluto energy of uncovering, and Libra ascendants, we have Pluto in the 4th house. So it's very much this emotional, like, uncovering of that Phoenix rising energy. Going back to that Neptune sextile Pluto today, it's very much where we can bring those dreams into transformation of a reality. Yeah, so, doing things that are aesthetically pleasing, that make us comfortable, being okay to just go softer. Because what Scorpio, where the moon is today, it's about attracting things in, right? Taurus, its opposite, will give, and give life and be comfortable, which rules Venus. Scorpio is the bringing it in. And how do we do that? Well, it's all energy, right? And so when we go about the day and we freaking fly off and stop at Starbucks and we're honking at people and all this, like, you're setting the whole day up where it's going to probably be a lot of stress. And besides that, you're creating the stress in your body, which will affect your heart and your third eye. And so being okay with sitting and slowing down, and maybe utilizing timers, right? So that we can still get stuff done and don't get lost, because Pisces is getting lost in the dream world, getting lost in just surrender and flow, and we've got to be able to produce and make things happen. But just going about it, the magic of Scorpio is going about it differently, going about it utilizing what's been hidden from us, that our consciousness is now, it's bringing, has been able to discover. And so we also have the moon. So moon trine Venus, moon trine sun. It's so beautiful because the moon trining the sun is our love and our emotional love. The moon trining Venus is the relationships, which are really huge right now. Really important for connecting to your astrology and to knowing yourself astrologically, so that you can vibe and get to where your soul knows is its family and its sacred unions coming together. I would love to help you guys with any relationship things that you have going on, so that we can all get to that perfect flow of these changes. So we have Mars trining Saturn. So Mars trine Saturn would be taking action and towards what we're building for ourselves independently, and to contribute to humanity. And so that's why I think a lot of it becomes like the self-love, right? And so, oh man, does that mean that Mars moved into Gemini? Let's see. I know it was on the last degrees. Okay, no, he's still in, let's see if I have the date right. Yeah, he's still in 29 degrees Taurus. So it's a sextile. That's why it wasn't making sense. So sorry, that's Mars sextile Saturn. So this Mars in Taurus wants to feel good, especially the last degrees. And it's beautiful that Venus has this perfect trine with the moon. But Mars is us taking action. So taking action towards what we're building for ourselves that contributes to this change in humanity is supported today, okay? And taking action in what brings us pleasure or creates a pleasurable physical environment, okay, with Mars and Taurus. So it's Mars and Taurus, Saturn and Aquarius. And then we have Mars trining the North Node, which is great. So it's taking action and that drive towards that twin-like energy that inspires us, that we know is part of our soul family, that we know is part of our path and our destiny. The Gemini North Node is very much these twin flame energies coming together, and I love them to be called the sacred union, because twin flames has gotten this like run and chase type deal, like this, I'm not into Pac-Man, but I'm into understanding faith and fate and sacred unions. But it is very twin like in a way of like our values and beliefs. But then it's, obviously it's like masculine and feminine, so there's like this opposite magnetism. And then when you look at astrology, like say Libra and Leo, compatible with the fire and the air, right? So it's very compatible. Or Pisces Virgo, right? Earth and water. Okay, so you look at things like that, and for relationships, and that's where it's compatible, but it's opposite. So it's this magnetism of opposites, Taurus, Scorpio, that bring the attraction of the two. But it's very interesting because it's as if it is a soul sharing space. And now the Gemini North Node also is, because Gemini period, right, is this local logical, aside from, which is still true, but Libra ascendants, ours is flipped, and so the house would be that of Sagittarius, so very much going within, and that being a local environment of the guru, taking the adventure to the foreign place inside. Gemini is logical, it's communicating, so we want to make sure to communicate maybe in ways that we're not used to, and as well as doing it in the outer world. So with Mars sextiling the node, I wonder if the sextile were a trine, if it's Gemini. What? I didn't write that down right. This is why I can't wait to like go back to High Vibe TV school and refresh, and not have to refer back. Mars trine Saturn, and then Mars trine, oh, that's Mars trine Pluto, not the North Node. Mars trine Pluto, that's right. So Mars trine Pluto, Mars in Taurus trine Pluto in Capricorn. It's so beautiful. Again, we're taking action towards what makes us feel good in our physical environment and for what we're transforming to build. Always change, always evolving. Let's not get stuck and stagnant in the South Node of continuously searching. Like, we should know by now where that twin-like energy is and how to discover more of it, which is via the heart space. And it's important to know like your tribes and where you're fitting in and that sort of thing, and to open up to new people a part of that, right? And let's see. So we have Jupiter trining the nodes and Mercury trining the nodes. So this is really expansive communication of our destined path, okay? So if you feel like that's part of your destiny, it's very much like sending blessings. Jupiter sends blessings, and communication gets a green light, trines, for that destined path, okay? So, work with what you have, For me, like rebuilding from start, like a lot of it is done online, but manifesting, like believing in what you're building and finding your flow throughout your day, like to keep in tune with the body, mind, and soul. When your thoughts start to like dip, go back to like reminding yourself who you are, what you're doing, and which should be easy today, I think, with the Mercury trine, the destiny point of our fate. And if you don't know your North Node or whatever, like natal chart readings are beautiful for that. Because that is the North Node, South Node is where we see, okay, this is where I'm going stagnant. South Node, this is where I'm being progressive. All of us right now, it's Gemini, Sagittarius. So we want to adhere to our local environment. And today, Wednesday the 3rd, we have beautiful blessings where we can expand the communication with those that are a part of our destiny and within ourselves of especially with Venus supporting the emotions. So wherever you put the emotion towards, in alignment with your destiny, that's very much supported, financially, artistically, creatively, all the things, which is really great. And you know, not getting in our head, but just keeping that inertia and that flow and that energy moving towards it, just keeping it going. We have a square Mercury squaring. I think that's all the trines I wanted to talk about. Beautiful energy, right? Beautiful energy for relationships, our heart, our destined path, expansion. And these are like sacred unions, like, you know, where you're literally like marrying yourself, but you found it in a mirrored person. It's so beautiful. And you know, it just depends on the union and the people, but can be challenging on some ends. Nothing's perfect, you know. Some might be ahead on their path and the others trying to catch up. And what's beautiful is that they have found each other, and that's where we want to get all of you guys as well, right? We want to link to our astrology and find where that flow is, find where that true heart, you know, they say home is where the heart is, and it's so beautiful. And remember, the body, mind, and soul, the body is the temple. And I think, you know, speaking of which, the Leo King addressed like Lucifer, the asteroid, being behind Virgo, which represents health. I do believe that what we eat and drink and what we do with our bodies does make a difference as far as clearing it. Because I've experienced with Wake Tribe drinking Kangen water, and that being one of the only waters that hydrates me fully. So I do support, you know, a more healthier diet. But someone with a lot of Libra like myself, I do not like totally restrict myself, one, because I think we can get caught up in like too much spirituality and like creating it as like a religion, you know, like we get so boxy with any belief system, it just becomes a whole nother like church, if you will. Like you can only find God through this, which is insanity to me. I mean, like, who are we to even restrict God at all? And if God is love, and love is open, why would we put it in a box? You know, you can't box air, you can't box fire, you know, and it's the unseen things, it's the essence of things, it's the fire of the soul that's unseen but felt, it's the wind that is felt, that we are able to experience God, experience love, and know that it's real. And so though I do believe, because I'm experiencing it, like when I drink more water and I get less sleep and I keep my energy moving, my third eye is more clear, the body does the signals. And when I sleep more, on one hand, the third eye is like blurry and not as good, but then the body feels better. So it's kind of like very much we are in between some worlds right now and shifting, you know. And but more than any of the food and things like that we can do, and I do believe like plant medicines and certain drugs, you know, and some pharmaceuticals, you know, I'm not totally against pharmaceuticals. I am for the individual and the freedom of what works for you, because you can see that in astrology. And that's where I believe astrology really is the medicine, you know. All of these things are beautiful to work with, but you can vegan it out all day. You can eat and drink green things all day, which is great for the body. But if you stop there and you just do that, then that's cool. You're someone that is a health person. What if you do all that and then your soul's not open? And then you miss this like amazing time in our lives where we can connect to soul energy. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, the stuff is like important for the body, mind, and soul trinity to come into partnerships, right? And just to unite, you know, connect. But it's not like the main dish. The main dish is our soul, and in astrology, that's the print. The print is there, you know. And I just want to mention that because we are all like becoming conscious of this health movement, which is important. But we don't want to think that is it, because that's just like being on like a really great diet. That doesn't lead you to the gold. You know what I mean? And then on a second, you know, to look at it another way, you can like astrology it all day and still get to, like myself, you can get to, because I'm blessed, right? Very blessed to be connected to someone who's already like done all the stuff. Um, so I was able to get that heart space open and the third eye open, utilizing some plant medicine and being a part of and connected to an amazing astrologer, soul connection, and astrology myself, but needing to still do like the body work of like yoga and meditation as a more routine. But I got to, when I want to express that's important, is that I got to the gold without like having to travel through like the vegan, you know, or not even just vegan, but like the health conscious part, right? And so it's both, but the main course is your soul. And the way you see that is through, okay, who was I energetically when I was born? And that God energy. God is love, and God is all of us, like, you know, supporting each other and that divine synchronistic flow. But God is the one that is above all, in my opinion, causing the rotation of these planets, knowing that on this day, I want this beautiful individual to have a shit ton of Libra, and so, you know, or I want this beautiful individual to have a shit ton of Leo, and, you know, and the water breaks and the child is coming, you know, like, and all the things that make each of us us. And it's phenomenal. And that's what's beautiful about this like Pisces Scorpio day, is that it's phenomenal. If there's, you know, it's the phenomenal things in life that prove there's a fate and there's a flow. So you can eat right all day, but if you're not tapped into the phenomena of the energy of the planets of who you are, you may miss out on, and it doesn't mean you have to learn it, though I think it's great for everyone to learn it, but have a great astrologer you're following. High Vibe TV School and just High Vibe TV is just a great spiritual community where you get an array of so many things, because you have the astrology, you have the history with like the goddesses and Isis, and they just do all kind of talks disclosure where they're talking about things that we aren't, you know, we're getting censored on YouTube. And then you have like with the school, Sarah Pasha's shadow work, and then Dylan the spirit advisor's chakra work, and then the amazing Leo King's astrology. And so it's really great to have that all in one, you know, but whatever resonates with you and works with you. But we don't want to get caught in this Lucifer asteroid of, oh yeah, I'm going to just create my own reality and make it great. I know what I gotta do. I gotta eat healthy. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this. And then not connected to the truth of the planets or adhering to that wisdom at all. And if it works for you, it works for you. But as someone who has found that truth through astrology, I can't help but share it. And so that's how I take that Lucifer asteroid in Virgo right now. And so, again, it's very much important for the body, because you can't get an alignment if you have all this emotional stuff in your body. But it's not what opens the soul and finds those sacred unions, though it helps in the communication to connect. Now, looking at the squares. So we have Mercury square Uranus, which is, and I want to mention, you know, as I look at the time, I'm like, man, I've been doing like kind of longer dailies or whatever. But then I remind myself, let go of time, you know that you have to, do stuff and adhere and connect to people at, certain times, and especially utilizing the benefit of astrology. But that's part of the pressure, the time system, or even like this clock, the time system we are still under with business, where we have to bring it back to. It's another thing I love about the High Vibe TV school. David Palmer did a spiritual e-commerce, and it's like everything you could ever want or need in that. I'm grateful to have it and ready to utilize it more and more. But yeah, letting go of time and understanding that when they say like time is, we have all these different dimensions, right? So though we're in our physical environment where we're planting the seeds and earning the income and making the connections that way, we are also making the connections in the ethers and creating our future and that kind of thing. And so you want to let go of time, because that allows the ease of your energy and not the pressure. That's why I think utilizing timers is a good idea, and having your plan. But flowing, are you a morning person or are you a night person, And the more we clear the body and break through, we need less and less sleep, and we can let go of time more and more, and what we've been taught about time and about sleep and about food and all of these things. Because you never know, like, as long as you're in tune with your body and your soul and what you're creating, what feels good, you never know, like, at what point when you finish that video or when you finish this, that it's going to make sense to someone or whatever, like I'm flowing with, because it's always, for me, the flow is that, it's the downloads that come through, as well. So we are going to get to some tarot. I'm going to touch on like, the squares for today. So, it's a beautiful day, again, with these trines to build for what's on your path. Queen of Swords popped out. So that's Queen of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. This were the other day. I guess that's why they might have popped out. So making a decision mentally and not giving in to feeling left out in the cold. Okay. So we have Uranus squaring Mercury. And another thing with the Queen of Swords, like, she has the idea, but she values her idea. Queens know their value. Like, she had the mental thing, and then we want to bring it into the other fixed energy, right? So today the challenges are Uranus and Taurus squaring Mercury and Aquarius. That sun is the Venus is catching up to the sun. Yeah, so Uranus and Taurus squaring Mercury in Aquarius. And so squares are just more restrictive. And so there can be things out of nowhere where our communication can feel a little off. This can have to do with connecting and social media, cars, because Mercury rules like the processing. So it could be with your devices or your interconnection. And Mercury rules the nodes as well. And so anything with restrictive energy or bringing that into the practical, you know, let's see about the sun. Yeah, because we still have the sun like squaring those north nodes, though we have Mercury trining them and Jupiter. So maybe seeing in reality, because Taurus is the reality, right? Uranus squaring Taurus would be like things out of nowhere causing some restriction to what we're communicating about for our plans for independently and for what we're doing with humanity. And so the innovativeness that we're taking on, and it's interesting because they're kind of like Uranus rules Aquarius where Mercury is, you know. But so it's just restrictiveness to experiencing that physical pleasure or that environment that we want. There's a restrictive element to being able to communicate or process that, and to understand how to problem solve out of that, the innovativeness. And so that's just pushing a little harder with it. Now I believe because we do have the Mars trining the nodes and Mars trining Saturn today, I don't see it as much of a problem, but it could come out of nowhere, out of the blue, you know, some restrictions in communication and processing. And then when that happens with these squares, we don't want to get outside of ourselves. We don't want to let it like take the peace from us or the good flow. So just tap back in, you know. And we have the moon squaring Saturn and Jupiter. And so those are the building and the structure as well as the expansiveness. And so emotionally, we may feel a little bit restrictive with, okay, like I know what I want to build. I don't know how exactly it's all going to come about, seeing where I'm at right now. I don't emotionally feel it. It's a little more restrictive. But looking at where we're supported, and we do, of course, still have, like I mentioned, the sun trining the north node. And so that's our heart space, like feeling restricted of the destiny point and knowing where we're going, and that twin-like energy. And coming back, though, to the blessings for this day, which are huge for our destined path, romantic energy, creative energy, and utilizing it according to your individual chart as well. So very romantic day, very creative day, very much aligned with destiny's point for you. So great day to get a reading as well of all kinds, to know that, because knowing that is the first step, right? And so the cards that came out were the Queen of Wands. So we've got the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. So knowing our value of intellectually, what we have to offer and what we've made our mind up about, and knowing our value of what we're passionate about and where we want to put that soul fire, what drives us. And then we got the Fortune card reversed, and that Five of Pentacles was reversed as well. So outwardly we have the idea and we have the drive, and inwardly we're getting over these shadows and the blocks of feeling like we're left in the cold and feeling like we can't welcome in that fortune, because it does take time sitting and spending time in that world to build it and to connect. Okay, so that's another, like, getting out of that Mars energy where you feel like you've got to push, and sinking back into the soul and taking the time to connect and to build it, because that's where the treasure is. It's the treasure of your soul. And so there's that. Now I want to do a little prayer, though. Spirit, thank you so much for this Wednesday, of all of this beautiful energy. And I ask that you would Bless all of our hearts, all of our souls. Bless our third eyes. Let the light shine bright between both. May the heart spaces open up so that the third eye is brighter, so that we can see more what we're building. And may we not be afraid to put those ideas into action. And God, I ask that you give us whatever message you'd like us to know for this March 3rd of 2021. And how can we better align with our future? What can we do today to connect to your divinity, Spirit? Okay. And we have the Judgment card. And so the Judgment card is really saying, another thing on High Vibe TV is tarot. Like, I've learned with the art, and I find when I'm looking at different decks, I take a minute, or, we're all learning so fast, I won't retain it as much, and just taking the time. But there's also, I picture him. Jax Atlantis does a really phenomenal tarot school as a part of High Vibe TV school, because he goes through each of them in such depth and the order of them where it's really phenomenal. Yeah, it's great. So the Judgment card, we are living in a time of spiritual judgment, so not getting so much in the ego and what we want and what we crave, but remembering that it is a spiritual time of judgment, and to surrender to that, because that's where the ultimate flow is. That's where the ultimate gift is. We're not in a time of, though it's judgment, we're not in a time of understanding judgment like we used to, but it's like, okay, we're in a time where we're needed to show up and to discover and remember and to tap into why we're here and how are we getting there and what are we here to do, because it is a time of judgment. And so ultimately remembering that today will help us. And I'll go ahead and pull a couple more. And balance. Balancing, I think, the spiritual energy and the practical world, right? And the balance within ourselves of the masculine and feminine energy. Okay. And then we have the Four of Swords reversed. And so don't block the time you need to go into that meditative space to find those answers. Okay, because that's what it is, like upright. And if it's reversed, we're blocking it. All right. And because we are in a time where we feel like we need to do, but things will come when we show up in that divine way. Let's go ahead and pick a couple more. We'll make it a 5 card. So we got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Seven of Pentacles, upright is planting the seeds, having them, and then playing the waiting game. Okay. So reversed, it's like, are you not being patient enough? Are you leaving someone waiting? Building the inner world, it may take some patience. It may take some time. But without it, you're just left empty and there's no soul connection to anything we're creating. And then we got the Nine of Cups today. So that's so beautiful. I love it. It's so on point. And the Nine of Cups is, the Ten of Cups is the happily ever after. And the Nine of Cups is very, very much filled with so much joy, so much fulfillment, so much success, emotional greatness. So that's wonderful. So spiritual time, balancing the energies, and not restricting what you're building in meditation, and knowing it takes time and to have patience, and that leads to the ultimate fulfillment. So, and now let's make sure that we don't just know it and talk about it, right? But that we actually make that a part of our day. So I'm going to pull a Keepers of the Light card. And here it is. We've got the Break the Chain, Ancestral Patterns, Healing, Rewriting the Future. It's beautiful. I plan to tap into the Gene Keys Pearl today. And it's another way I can spread some awareness for you guys and assist you if you're interested in a Gene Keys reading. So I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope this horoscope was helpful, and may you find some beautiful spiritual flow of understanding things that have been hidden and being open to new ways of discovering intimacy in your relationships. And may we all be blessed with these divine sacred unions. And may we lead the way to true love, to true God energy, and make these changes that we came here to do. I love you guys, and if you're interested in my school or my readings, I would love to serve you in these ways. You can comment below or visit my Instagram, HealingHearts32, or my Facebook page, Divinely Genuine, and I would love to work with you and to get you in alignment, soul alignment as well. Love you guys. Peace.